Fit to Love, episode 29, Emotional Cord Cutting.
Fit to Love is physical, emotional, and spiritual fitness to achieve the happy life you deserve. From exercise to cooking, relationships, and spirituality, you'll find all the inspiration you need right here with our host, JJ Flizanes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fit to Love Freedom Fridays. Today's show is Emotional Cord Cutting. So yummy. Today we have with us Shirin Hunt. She's a very special person to me, and I'm so happy to have her on the show. Intuitive healer and teacher Shirin Hunt brings over 20 years of experience to her expansive and powerful work. Drawing on global experience and a diverse background, Shirin's work incorporates quantum healing techniques of ThetaHealing, Native American systems of spirituality, and Hawaiian mysticism. Shirin received her BA in psychology from UCSD, is the founder of ShirinHealing.com, and the creator of Pepper Sauce for Peace. She currently resides in the North Shore of Kaua'i, and Shirin actually married me. So she has a very, very special place in my heart. Not only did she marry us, she did a ceremony the next year as a celebration, and will be doing our 10-year celebration in the future. So welcome, Shirin.
Aloha. Thank you, JJ, for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited. And I'm even more excited about this topic because emotional cord cutting, wow, so powerful to think about that. How many people walk around with so many wounds and heavy hearts because they're still so attached to pain and trauma of experiences with people that they'd really just love to cut the cord.
Absolutely. And so much of that happens on a subconscious level, and people are so inundated with so much in their reality, in the field of their being, and they're so caught up that they can't, it's great to slow down, check it out, and see what needs to be cleaned up.
So before we get into this juicy topic that I'm sure everyone can apply to their life, tell people who are listening how you work with people. So how do you do what you do, and what do you do?
It's a long story of my beginning. Basically, I've had intuitive abilities since I was a child, and I call myself a seer. So that means to me, if I'm meditating, and of course always with the permission of the person that I'm working on, I could see in the spirit field maybe things that person is not necessarily seeing. And I wasn't sure how to work with this gift or this ability. And of course, as I became a teenager, it became something weird, so I put it aside. And I was lucky enough to meet Kaua'i, who's my Native American revealer teacher. She is still with us on this earth, and she's a very special person. Comes about in her tribe, a revealer comes every 350 years or so to set the course for humanity, not just for that tribe. And so it was amazing gift to me to be able to find Kaua'i, who I met through my husband Kenji. And I started to study with Kaua'i, and she taught me a lot about how to create protection and safety and how to create sacred circles. And I studied a long time, many, many years with Kaua'i, doing different studies. And then I realized that the work that was coming through, it wasn't quite applying to everyone. And it was a certain kind of person who was ready to see into that field, that was ready to receive the work. And what I was noticing is people who were coming to me were not making fast enough changes. And I'm by nature a very fiery person. I'm an Aries in my sign, and I like to see fast results and quick, things happening in that more of a fiery manner. And right around this time, this is now so many years ago, I've lost count, I ran into Vianna Stibal, who's the founder of ThetaHealing, and she had come to the island, and a beautiful story of how my mom and daughter and I, the 3 generations, ended up going to this group healing that Vianna was offering. And from that, this whole other door opened up into my life, which is the ThetaHealing door. I became a certified teacher, and that currently is my passion, is really to teach people how to take care of themselves. None of us need a third party. We just have our own selves and our connectivity. And when we really tune in and we are connected to source, or whatever we want to call all that is, we all have the ability to heal ourselves. And that is my true passion, is to teach people how to do that. ThetaHealing became the main gist of what I do and who I am, because it's so quick, it's so accessible, it is a form of instant healing. It's a very powerful modality, simply using our own brain waves. Everybody has a brain. Everybody's got brain waves. Everybody can access theta. Everybody can do this. And that's what made it so attractive to me. And I started to practice on people and as a practitioner first before I became a teacher, and was seeing very quick results. Lots of healing, lots of dynamic healing. Anyway, that's the gist of that. And I ran then into a kahuna here, who is Kahuna Ed Kaiwi, who ended up actually coming to live with us. And that's another long story. And I learned a lot of Hawaiian mysticism and huna methods from him, and ho'oponopono practice, which is the practice to make right. I became a sort of swirl of all these teachers and my own ability to be an intuitive sort of seer. And so I'm a soup mix of everything, and myself bringing forth transformation experiences. When I do healing sessions with people, I call them transformation sessions. And I teach weekly online because I believe in manifesting and being in that powerful realm of bringing our reality forth in our physical lives.
Well, I love that you've made it accessible for people to work with you who don't live in Hawaii. However, if you happen to be going to the North Shore of Kauai, definitely look Shirin up on ShirinHealing.com. So let's get into the emotional cord cutting. Let's start off with, I know what it means to me, but what does it mean to you, or how would you explain what it is?
Initially, I would address this in terms of couples. So when you're, for example, a couple's married, you sign the document, and then something happens down the road, going separate ways, and okay, let's now go through and sign a divorce document. Well, none of the cells of your body know that. None of the cells internally recognize that a paper has been signed. There is an energetic connection that is still there, and this doesn't have to be with couples. I'm just making that as an example because it's so clear for people to understand. But basically, the energetic cords, the emotional cords, the attachment, the energy lines, the grid mixture of the two people, however way you want to describe it, is still very much present. And though, parts get hurt, and so we withdraw some things and pull in, and different things happen, it's not necessarily in a healthy way. And so there is an ongoing connection. So then let's say this person moves forward, if some time passes, everybody internally feels like they're ready to move on and meet somebody else. And so let's go through this, 5 or 6 times. I'm not saying marriage and divorce, but just, numerous partners. Then every time, if part of you is connected to somebody else, how much of you is available to your current person? So a cord cutting is the recognition that we can, including, by the way, DNA and cellular exchange and all the ways that we've exchanged energy and we've kind of become a part of each other, can be cleared, released, cords cut, if that's what you wish to call it. In this case, that's what we are calling it. Some people say, I don't want to cut the energy, I just want to clear it. So whatever works in people's minds. But energetically, we're talking about releasing cellularly, emotionally, mentally, all the layers of your being, one person from another, that is no longer serving you. Now, in some cases, people say, well, I am no longer with my ex, but I'm really good friends with my ex. Well, it still would serve to do an energetic cord cutting in terms of being sexual partners, in terms of being together as boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever we're talking about, partner, and then just download into the cells what it feels like to have a healthy friendship. So it's not necessarily that we need to do this because there's bad feelings or negative things. It's just to create a healthy realm of connectivity with the other person. Or if it is somebody you really want to release out of your life, to release them completely with forgiveness and release the resentments and just be a clear vessel yourself.
The reason why this topic was really interesting to me and timely, well, it's not timely, but why it was really interesting to me was because I can remember back, like you're talking about relationships, where I wanted to sort of be clear. In fact, I had a journal when I was in New York. I was dating someone who was definitely a big lesson for me, and I was aware of it from the beginning, and I probably have 7 full journals that literally say, please God, let me learn the lesson and let it be done. I'm ready to be done. And this went on for 2 years. So I always think emotional cord cutting. I know intellectually I was very ready for that earlier on. I recognized that this was sort of a life lesson. Now I was 20, I went from 19 to 21 with this person, and it was a transitional relationship that I wouldn't repeat, but I really honor the lessons that I learned. I got very clear about myself on several levels, and still to this day I use some of the examples of what I learned. But during the actual relationship, I felt sort of that strangling. So you're mentioning emotional cord cutting doesn't have to be a cutting, it can be a releasing. When I think of cord cutting or having an emotional cord, that doesn't seem free to me. So cutting a cord allows me to then connect, if I so choose to connect, on a earthly level, if you will. I know we're energetically all connected, so that's not even a question, but it's not about being attached in a forceful, non-free way. So in terms of, obviously, cord cutting for relationships or releasing, it's very freeing emotionally, but why else would it be useful? Who else, and in what other ways would we use this?
Good question. So first of all, we are all coming into relationships for lessons learned. And so let me describe a little bit as an example. Let's say you, JJ, came to me in a session, whether it's over the phone or in person, and you said, okay, I had this experience with so-and-so from the time I was 19 till I was 21, and I would like to check and first of all see if there is an energetic cord that's still there. And then we check that. We can check that with muscle testing if needed, and I can also check it remotely for people. But let's say there is one. Then I would ask your permission. Okay, JJ, do we have your permission to cut and clear this cord and then bring in either what it feels like to be in a healthy relationship with so-and-so, or just let him go with forgiveness and releasing resentment? So you'd say yes. And then the action of the actual cord cutting happens, which is connecting in theta, doing the actual release, witnessing it, clearing your cells, clearing the energy. The final part would be for you to, I normally, if people are here, I recommend releasing a flower to the ocean, from your heart into the ocean, and then, or any body of water, just as a final closure and a release. And during that time, which is your private alone time with you and nature, is for you to really review and really bring into you all the lessons that came to you from this relationship. What is it? What did you need to learn? Did you learn it? Did you get it? To really be with all that came in terms of what it's meant to teach you, and then to release it with gratitude. The whole thing is, completed. There's closure. So how that helps you is your own freeing. It also helps that other person. It frees them because, when we're holding on to an energetic line, the other person feels it, and not everybody feels it because it's subtle, but it is an energy field that then gets released. So in addition to couples, when I was doing my own checking, and I was checking myself with muscle testing, and you can check yourself. Well, that's another whole topic. So anyway, with muscle testing, I was checking to see if I was also married to other people. So I happened to check my family members. Married to, meaning there is an energetic connection there, and, not the term married in terms of couples, but just checking yourself in terms of, yes, I was energetically had a line connection with my mother, with my father, with my brother, with my sister. So energetically, anybody I love deeply, my cells would marry them. It's like, oh, I'm committed to this person, And it doesn't mean that is a negative thing. It just means I was that much less available to my actual husband in terms of my wholeness, because I was linked to all these other people. So it can help you with beyond couples, with anything. Sometimes we have these, codependent or unhealthy relationships. There could be energetic cords there that are pulling you into a direction that's not allowing your full freedom. So all we want is our sovereignty, our power, our alignment, and then healthy connections. What a healthy father-daughter relationship feels like, what a healthy mother-daughter relationship feels like, what a healthy sibling relationship feels like. So those are just examples, but it applies to so much more than couples.
I think about different negative relationships that I may have or other people may have. Is there a situation where, sort of like you did by muscle testing yourself with your family, are there places where you'd want to energetically cord cut, emotionally cord cut from positive experiences?
That's up to the person, really, but I would say if there's any energy line, whether it's positive or negative, that is pulling you in a way that's so my vision of being connected, for example, is a very vertical feeling, okay? So I'm grounded, rooted, connected to the earth. I'm standing nice and tall, like a tall tree, and the top of the crown is open to creation. It's in a kind of this verticality feeling. So emotional, energetic cord connections tend to be on a horizontal scale. So whether it's positive or negative, if it's pulling me out of my connectivity, my empowerment, or that verticality presence that I want to feel, then it's worthwhile to look at. And also when you are doing the actual cord cutting, you can do it in terms of, okay, whatever's in my highest and best, whatever's serving me, those things can stay, and what's no longer serving me is no longer in my highest and best gets released. So, you can let divine intelligence determine what that needs to be as well.
Okay. I'm just thinking of all the emotional cord cutting that might need to happen with myself. This could be very useful to everybody, obviously. That's why we're talking about it. I want to hear a little bit more, and I want you to explain to everyone in another way sort of how Theta Healing works, because you are using mostly Theta Healing for this.
For this particular exercise, yes. And so how it works is I'll make an example of a phone session. So a phone session, I first describe what Theta Healing is, and I know people can read about that because we're going to run out of time soon, but it's essentially accessing the theta brainwaves. So when, let's say, JJ, you and I are on the phone together, and I say, JJ, do I have your permission and to clear your space and to prepare you to receive this work? What that means is a download or an energetic connection from my field connected to creator, to source, to all that is. So there's no definition there. It's just the light of all that is. So we don't get caught up in what that word means. And from that space, witnessing a change, a clearing, whatever it is that we're working on happening to your field. Now, by our energetic connection, whether it's in person or over the phone, when my brain waves go into theta, and when you're connected with me, and when we're doing this work together and you're agreeing to this work, your brain waves will slow down and they'll come into resonance and they'll slow down into the theta wave. So a lot of times the recipient feels a little sleepy, feels very relaxed, because theta is the brainwave we experience prior to going to sleep and also when we first awaken. So it's kind of that in-between space. And so when you're feeling that, it means your body, your being, your brainwaves are also including that theta wave. And so that is a very creative space. It's a co-creative space, and it's also a place where we can discreate. So we can pull things out like energetic cords, things of that nature. So the witnessing is the process, witnessing of the process happening, and then grounding the person and integrating that work and that transformation session into the person. So that's the best quick description I can give you of it.
And we've done it, and I've done Theta Healing with other practitioners as well, so I definitely know what the experience is, but I did want people who've never had it before to hear some kind of explanation about what it is, because obviously in all kinds of healing modalities, the more you sort of understand intellectually, the more it's easier to accept emotionally, energetically going in. For some who might be skeptical, obviously there are people that are very open and free and just go, okay, to whatever, and those people don't have any issue. But for the left brain people who need strategy and logic and reason, that's a little bit about Theta Healing. So we're going to talk about who can benefit from emotional cord cutting and also Theta Healing. But first, let's thank our sponsors.
Is your website working for you? If it's not, and you're frustrated with your brand, website, or current online results, Every Angle Media can help transform your existing business presence and build you a website that works when you're not working. Every Angle Media is a full-service web development firm that specializes in solving problems with open-source solutions. We offer complete design services, custom content management systems, fully integrated e-commerce solutions, cross-platform mobile development, and custom third-party integration, and we're here to help. Visit our site to see our work at everyanglemedia.com or give us a call at 310-798-7228.
Again, that's everyanglemedia.com. Break the vicious cycle of emotional eating and take back your power over food with Dr. Lisa Galper. Visit her site at poweroverfood.com to read her articles, watch her videos, sign up for her monthly email tips, and check out her current classes. Okay, so let's talk about who can benefit from emotional cord cutting.
Well, really everybody, but the main focus always tends to come to couples who are separating. And I really love the term conscious uncoupling that came about with Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin's separation. I know it's not their term that they coined, but I love that. I feel like, people come together very consciously, and if it's not going to work, to really consciously uncouple is a beautiful thing. It's very healthy. And honestly, I do ceremonies of that nature as well, and I've never had two people show up to it. It's always one or the other, when it's the separation time. So just being really conscious about what is in your field. Is it serving you? Are there energy lines that are connected to you that feel like they're weighing you down or, throwing you off balance, or, as I say, pulling you into the horizontal from the vertical? And if so, then an energetic cord cutting would probably benefit you.
What if you have relationships in your life that you, let's say a sibling or a parent or a extended family, that there's been a falling out? What about emotional cord cutting then?
I would highly recommend it, and also then to work on the resolution of afterwards. So if there's a sibling thing, then what does it really feel like to have a healthy sibling relationship? Because a lot of times what we don't have inside us is what we're seeking, and therefore we're resonating with lessons connected to that. And if we bring from the source of all that is, where everything exists, when we bring that potential into our being, then we resonate with things differently. So if we know inside ourselves what a healthy sibling relationship feels like, then that's what we begin to resonate with. And if we've never had it, then we're always trying to, bounce off each other, trying to create something, some lesson or some learning. The resolution of is also very important, as much as the cord cutting itself.
And I would add also, I believe you also would agree that when you say the resolution, not that person is necessarily seeking actively in this physical form right now to make a connection with that person, but more energetically, like you said, desiring, thinking about projecting forward what you would want in order to resolve into. Sort of like that step up. Like if I've never had a good sibling relationship and I've ended a relationship with a sibling, and I really don't want to repeat that, but I don't know what else is possible, that placement that you're talking about is really thinking about, well, what would you want? How would it look like to get what it is that you want in a healthy sibling relationship, correct?
Exactly. So it has nothing to do with what's going on in the physical reality today. It is that notion of dreaming it, visioning it, manifesting it, bringing it in and bringing it inside yourself, so you begin to resonate with your physical reality differently, and hopefully over time that will change the physical reality also, because, granted, we're only working on one person, unless both siblings, for example, are wanting to be worked on. So, but when you work on one person, because we are all in that energetic field of connection, the health of you will create health resonance with the other person. It just might take time, or, if there's resistance, it might take a lot of time. But basically, yes, it's to energetically shift you and to bring you into health. And then that will, you'll start to resonate differently with what's around you.
And I can speak from personal experience. I did it with my husband. Two people don't need to be doing the work. It's nice when two people do the work, but when one person shifts into a different space, the other party naturally responds. As you were talking about sibling relationships or any relationship, if you do the work and you emotionally cord cut and you do your visualization and move yourself into a higher vibration, a better space, you can manifest that even when the other person doesn't know anything about it and isn't participating, because as you shift your energy, everyone else around you shifts how they respond to you.
Exactly. So it always comes back to ourselves, which is all we've got to work with this moment right now and ourselves.
Absolutely. So if someone wanted to work with you, Shirin, tell them how they would find you and how exactly what you offer.
I do offer transformation sessions. I offer also weekly online classes. Everything is on my website. I know that they could probably see that in written form from you, but it's ShirinHealing.com. So it's SHIRIN healing.com. That's my website, and it has my contact info and information about classes and transformation sessions, and the love is out there.
I just want to mention quickly about Pepper Sauce for Peace. Do you want to tell them just a quick thing about Pepper Sauce for Peace?
Pepper Sauce for Peace is of a vision that I had. We need to create a synchronous healing on this planet for at least 9,000 people focusing on peace at the same time. I do weekly meditations on Thursdays for that as part of Women's Global Peace Alliance. And Pepper Sauce for Peace was birthed out of that notion to bring the love into the food that's out there and bring the focus on peace, because together we can all make a difference. And Pepper Sauce for Peace is filled with a lot of love, and the focus is on peace.
And the proceeds go to a charity, correct?
The proceeds go to all peace movements. So right now I'm focused on Kaua'i and what's happening here. There's a lot going on Kaua'i. A lot of help is needed here. It is a nonprofit item coming out of our nonprofit INCF, and it is all to promote peace causes.
If you use Tabasco on your food, or you like Tabasco, Pepper Sauce for Peace is better, and you're contributing to the planet. So consider Pepper Sauce for Peace. That's the commercial for the day. No, I'm kidding. But that's the JJ endorsement, because I obviously have it in my cupboard, and I use it too. So thank you so much for being here, Shirin. It was a pleasure, and I look forward to doing some emotional cord cutting work with you soon.
Thank you, JJ, for having me. Lots of love to you.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for listening. And stay tuned for more from Shirin Hunt.
Looking for an engaging and inspiring speaker? Does your group need a good jolt of positive thinking? Look no further than JJ Flizanes. Visit her site to check out her most requested topics and video examples. jjflizanes.com. That's jjflizanes.com.
Do you want to learn more about your hormone health and how to get it properly tested? Then sign up for our Healthy Hormone Kit at nourishingwellness.com. This kit features healthy eating and lifestyle tips to help you heal your hormones naturally. The Fit to Love podcast show offers you 6 days a week of helpful content to achieve the happy life you deserve. Movement Mondays and Tasty Tuesdays are weekly videocasts, while Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays, Freedom Fridays, and Sexy Saturdays are audio-only shows themed every week to address your holistic life and needs. If the show inspired you, we would love for you to share it and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Head on over to fittolove.tv for recaps of every show, resources, and to join the community. That's FIT, the number 2, LOVE.tv. Have a fit and fabulous day.